Viva Puerto Rico! Viva Cuba! Yes! Viva Colombia! Where am I at? Where you putting me at? Don't stop. Right here?
You're right there.
All right, que pastor?
So, hey.
Yes.
Thank you, Don, so much for being here with us.
De nada. I'm just so happy.
Man. Really?
I'm so happy to be at home again. Mi casa, su casa.
Right.
Hey, Florida, Panama.
Don, when everything started, when your passion for the sport started, when you decided to get into boxing and promoting a fight?
Helping a hospital in Cleveland, Ohio called Forest City Hospital. They were suffering from financial woes, couldn't pay the pharmaceutical bills and get interns to work. And so I come out of the penitentiary and they called on me to help, and I called my friend Muhammad Ali, and we did a big benefit for Forest City Hospital, a show for people's care, and it was a smash and hit. And then Ali prevailed upon me to go into the sport of boxing.
Okay, so it started from a friendship with a boxer to then to the sport.
Yes, the greatest of all time.
The greatest of all time. They say that, this is what people say in the street, you know, there are many stories about you.
Yeah.
They say that when you got out of jail, right there, you only had $100, you bought a tuxedo, you rented a limo, you turned the corner, and you signed Ali. Is that true, or is that people just lying?
Well, no, they're not lying. They're just, you know, it becomes folklore. Viva Puerto Rico, Tito, Trinidad. Yes, but it's a good story because it really was. You know, the truth is, you know, when I signed the 2 boxes, you know, I didn't have the money to pay the boxes, but I told them we'd get the money if we stay together.
Right.
And it showed what it was to be unity and solidarity and togetherness. And this is what Muhammad Ali did, stuck with me. And irrespective to anyone's offer, and George Foreman likewise. And so we made history together because we stay together. So that's a message to our children, you know, stay together, you know what I mean? Be unified, you know, in purpose. You know, if you don't stand for something, you don't live for nothing.
Right. No, that is great.
You know what I mean?
Don, Africa, that's very important in your life, Zaire. That fight, you know, how you convinced that president to give the money for this fight? You paid $5 million each boxer, is that true?
That is correct.
That's incredible, that amount of money in 1974.
Yes, that is correct. What happened is I couldn't get any support from here at home in America because a black guy signing up 2 athletes, the most prestigious athletes at that particular time in the world. Yet I could not get the backing because of the different racism policy, and that's why I want to always be a fighter of racism and prejudice, because it's something we must eradicate. Right. And so, but traveling around and not knowing where to go, God comes into the plan. And God helped and directed us into Africa, to Mobutu Sese Seko, and we told him the plight and that we had these great athletes, and so we came up with the theme from the slave ship to the championship. And Mobutu came in and supported us, and the rest is history, the Rumble in the Jungle.
What about the night of the concert? Why you had to do that show? Because the Funny All-Star, you brought down everybody, Roberto Roena, all these great Latin, Puerto Rican performers. You know, that helped a lot to make history.
Oh, that made, listen, you know, Michael Jackson,
James Brown, everybody was there.
Yeah, they were. He said music is the ribbon that ties humanity together.
Right.
And so what we did was we had all of the guys, B.B. King and Sister Sledge, the Philadelphia International Sound, and all the Latin stars and things. And it was a marriage then of sports and entertainment, working with the people, you know what I mean? And working in a manner in which it would be upward mobility and elevation, unity and solidarity. And it was about freedom. We was all fighting and struggling to get freedom, justice, and equality. And so they all pitched in and all became a part of history, and we was all down there for the big concert in Africa.
Now I understand. So really you used this sport for another purpose. At that moment, it wasn't about the sport then. It was about black, proud, and being together and just being free in the United States.
Absolutely. You know? That's what it was about, people of all races, hues, and colors, every religion, all coming together for one reason, freedom. And so that's why I'm doing this show here in Miami. It's a tribute to freedom. It's bringing back the glory of yesteryear and understanding what we have to come in and keep the struggle going so that we can continue to work for a better America, a better country and a better world. But
like
right
that.
now, let's deal with what we have that is real. Right here in Miami, South Florida.
Right,
rather
December
than-
19.
Yes, December the 17th.
The 17th, my
The
fault.
17th, you know, and it's a Cuban holiday too, St. Lazario's, you know what I mean, which is the big Cuban holiday where they open their heart, open their doors and their houses to feed the poor and to welcome people in and to be gracious. So it's the 17th of December. And I want everybody in Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, all of them to come down. It's a Pan-American affair, and we want to make certain that everyone be in that arena on the 17th of December. And we're going to have a gala review, and we're going to talk about all the greatness of boxing and what it does to bring people together.
Right.
That's the most important,
I like
because
that.
I'm a promoter of the people, for the people, and by the people, and my magic lies and my people ties.
And people love you because of that. They can feel it, man. A lot of people talk bad things, but you know what? When you hear this story, I'm seeing the other side of it, and I believe you.
Well,
I
thank
really
you.
do, man.
Well, you know, you got to look at it. Anything, let them to be objective. If I was doing half the negative things that they said I was doing, then it would be like an insult or slap in the face to say that the IRS, the CIA,
Exactly.
the FBI,
I Googled you last
Interpol,
night. I read
you know,
everything.
everybody would. If what are they gonna lay down and ain't gonna do their job?
It's true.
You know what I mean? But
It's
you know,
true.
it's a thing here. I don't believe in defending and proving. I believe in creating and initiating for a better world. You know, coming together, mi hermanos,
Right.
bringing all of these people together and work. And that's why I'm here with you. Yeah,
Thank you,
viva
Don.
Puerto Rico!
Okay, question, important. You know, after that moment in Africa, it's very easy for a human being to get a big head, you know, to think that you can do big stuff. How that triumph influenced your ego or the rest of the way for Don King, because you are larger than life, you know, and how much that moment was part of your life for then on, because you're 44 at that moment.
The moment,
Right? You're
yes.
44 years old. You're not a kid when you make Africa happen, you know, and that I learned yesterday reading about you. So,
You know, what happened there is God's in the plan. You can't do anything without God. So when they say vio con Dios, you know what I mean? You got to be able to go with God. You got to have God in your heart and have faith. Because I was invisible until 1974, 73, till I went to Africa.
right.
And then when all of these stars coming in there, visibility was attained, and then you had to fight for the people, because he gave you the blessing, you got to share the blessing with others. And so therefore, in working with him, and he working with me, we began to change the world in a manner in which we could get people to come collectively together. Look at all those stars. None of them got paid. They all came down to do like a freedom concert, a liberation situation. You know what I mean? And so it was so great. Jim Brown, great football player, he was there. You know, David Frost from the UK and England, he was there on the microphone. All of these people were being a part and parcel of what we have today with the changes that have coming in. And in Espanol, cambio, change is in the air. You know what I mean? And so we're going to work toward a better America, and we're going to do it for South Florida, where they got South Florida and in Las Vegas, they're interchangeably the highest unemployment in the nation,
True, right now.
the highest foreclosure rate in the nation. And so what we want to do is just stop putting out the doom and the gloom. Let's put out something with hope and faith, and so we can bring tourism back to South Florida, the oasis of paradise. You know, bring in our mayor. We got a great mayor in Regalado. You know, Thomas Regalado was a news courier. He carried on many presidents that I met him with. All of the presidents from Reagan and Carter. You know what I mean? And Bush, all of them coming down the line, and he was there. Now he's the head, he's the mayor of the city, and he's a great representative of the people of Miami. So I want to make certain that he can fulfill his aspirations and dreams in helping others. He cares about the people that he represents. And so we're going to be able to demonstrate that South Florida, again, is restored back to that, and we're going to bring people in and money in and tourism in again, so that we can make the excitement of the music, the salsa, the hip-hop, everybody playing a part in South Florida's revitalization.
That's good. I like that.
I'm happy.
No.
Viva Cuba!